Of Muse and Men.
Welcome to the Of Muse and Men podcast. My feckless co-host Andy. Say hi, Andy.
Hello there.
And we got a very special guest today, Randy Bradbury from Pennywise. Say hi, Randy.
Hello, hello. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me to share this short moment with you guys.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah,
I heard you had a bad commute.
it was a little crazy and slow on the on the 405. And then I'd go cross town. The freeway was halted 100%.
405 is pure brutality.
Yeah, it's the most
avoid it if you can.
Yeah, what is it? It's the most traveled freeway in the world.
I think it's the 10 that is actually.
The 10
might be changed now though.
Well, I'm gonna get used to that. I'm sure I'm gonna be wrong a lot within the next half an hour.
I don't know if you can be wrong.
So I know you're kind of pressed for time. You want to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you being a parent and all, I had pulled up a story that I was just going to joke with you about spilling stuff on the carpet.
I spilled something.
Yeah.
Bad.
He always does. Every studio I've been at, he's spilled stuff on the carpet.
Can I clean that up?
No, it's okay.
All right.
We'll just let it fester.
Okay.
And let the guilt fester.
Well, it's there's no sugar in it or anything. It's 0 calorie. It's basically like nothing's going to grow.
Okay, so let's jump in before Randy destroys the place.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to start with this first story about homework? And
We got a good one. The French president, whose name I can't pronounce, proposes banning homework.
You want to read a little bit of the story?
He says, education is priority. An education program is, by definition, a societal program. Work should be done at school rather than at home. The justification proposed for the ban says, I can't read that. Inequality?
Andy, this
What?
is your second podcast.
I
Talking
know,
to
I
Mike.
can't read this, though. And
I think I got the point.
Okay, so
Right.
let's
general
just jump
point.
off. This is my question to you because
Yeah.
you're a parent. Now, I talk to parents nowadays, and they feel like they're completely overloaded with homework.
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening to you?
Well, my kids. Okay, well, yeah. To answer that question, yeah, my kids have tons of homework. They're both in like a kind of slightly advanced curriculum because they're in the GATE program. That's what they offer in Huntington Beach. So they have, that when you sign up for put them in that, they're going to have extra curriculum, extra, homework, and a lot of more assignments than the other kids. But in general, and they got tons. They got tons of homework.
Yeah,
what grade are they at?
My daughter's in 8th grade, and my son is in 6th grade, and she's got much more than he does. They kind of take it easy on kids in 6th grade.
Right.
My son actually had more homework in 5th grade, and like as far as the story goes, I mean, I generally disagree with the French. Just across the board.
Just across the board, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because you can.
There is something to that. I think that.
Well, my question is this: like when we were growing up, we didn't have nearly that amount of homework.
Yeah,
and that leads into my next point, which is this whole globesity epidemic. Like we would do an hour of homework when we were little kids or something like that. And
I didn't do any. I didn't do it.
I know
I did
just
it
bailed
in.
on school.
No, I did.
But
I did it in class. I could do it.
But my point is, after that we went outside and played and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now it's like if kids are loaded down with homework, and then they don't go outside. And I heard they have. Andy, didn't you tell me they bailed on PE?
Pretty close.
A lot of schools, yeah. So
It's
I mean,
retarded.
we have kids like sitting there.
Playing
It's
video
too late to
games.
go outside, so you play Xbox or whatever, and then what happens?
Yeah, I
Put
think.
on weight.
Well, we have a unique situation because my wife's able to be home with the kids all day, and I have a lot of free time. But I
That's
mean,
cool.
most households, you've got the parents might even have 2 jobs, so the kids are like either doing homework or sitting, finding something to do in the house, while
Right.
before their parents come home. We keep our kids in tons of activities. They do like all kinds of sports, and we stay on top of them because
That's
we're
awesome.
able to,
Yeah.
So our kids don't sit around, definitely.
But is this a thing that's been? Is this like a transition for you to like spend more money on organized sports?
I don't know. I think the reason why we spend more money on organized sports is because you have so many stories in the media about like psychotic people, like doing fucking bad things to kids and stuff. So or whoever, and then you just go, wow, the world's crazy out there, and it's not going to be like in the 70s when I was running around, like my parents didn't know where the fuck I was all day long, as long as I got home, when the streetlights came on, and or when my dad whistled and it was time for dinner. So and as a matter of fact, they didn't want me in the house. And there were still as many psychopaths running around.
Didn't want me in the house.
No, they were like, get the hell out of
the
here.
house.
But
So check this out. It says, President says, it should be done during school hours rather than at home in order to establish equal opportunities. He argues that it favors the wealthy because they are more likely to have a good working environment at home.
wow, I can't believe I agree with the French on that. I agree with the French president.
Uh-oh.
I think that
The cracks are starting.
Yeah, it should be done. I think homework should be done in school. I mean, but they have, and then it gets into the part where you have too many kids in the classroom. You've got, I mean, how can one teacher teach 30-something kids and get to all of them and make sure they do enough work without like giving some homework?
And then
You
they
know what-
complain
the other
about
thing that-
having too much paper to grade.
But the other thing that's trippy is I talk to a lot of parents, and I go, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm helping my kid with their homework," and that really means I'm doing my kid's homework.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, why don't you just give the homework to the parent?
Absolutely. No, there's so much of that crap going on. Like, I think
that doesn't seem like you're preparing your kid properly.
No, exactly. I mean, that's what you do. You're trying to prepare your kids to be able to take care of themselves one day.
Right.
But I think a lot of parents like look at it like my kid represents me and they're going to be great, and they don't really let
you think
the
that's
kids
like a
do their own work.
set up to fail later on?
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
Parents want to do their kids' art projects for them.
Yeah,
because they want it to be the best.
Well, I mean, that happens when in first grade or whatever, when you do science fair. I mean, we did it. It's like you look at all these projects, like you can create like electricity out of an orange or like, whatever
or like
it is.
some like scale model of Manhattan or
Yeah,
something.
it's crazy.
Like, what the hell?
Crazy stuff. So it's like all the parents do that.
That's
What's
like
your dad
getting out
do?
of
He's an
control.
engineer. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, and you go like, well, that's good because they're working together. No, it's like, get out of the garage. I'm doing your project for you. You're bugging me.
Go play Xbox while I finish this up. So on the subject of kids, we have our next story. Which
so that one.
I want you
what's
to
the
actually
consensus?
see this picture. I want you to see this picture.
This is awesome.
This is from China.
Yeah, they're brushing her hair. What's a
No,
Chinese teacher gets sacked after sharing
Go
pic
ahead
of
and read
herself
it, Andy.
lifting pupil into the air by
Hang
her
on.
ears.
Andy's going to read the story.
Hey, Andy, I'm
I
sorry.
think Randy
He's
reads
such a good reader.
Go ahead.
It says the Chinese teacher gets sacked after sharing pictures of herself lifting pupil into the air by her ears.
It's pupil, but that's cool.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
Sound like you said people,
people.
but go ahead.
I thought you
Whatever.
said people. Sorry, Andy. You're the host, though, so
it's
I'm wrong.
that's right. It
Don't
just
get all
shows a
sensitive.
big picture of this. She looks like a teacher, but she looks 18, picking a kid up by her ears or his ears.
Didn't my
Like
parents?
this kid is off the ground. Like I'm verifying that I can
At
see
least 6
daylight
inches.
between the. Yeah,
My uncle would do that to
6
me all the
inches.
time.
by the ears.
Yeah, at Thanksgiving.
Are you serious?
No, but it was a joke because you hang on to their arms.
How
and they
come
go,
you
"I'm
don't
gonna
have
pick you-"
bigger ears? Look, I mean,
You know,
dude,
that
this
never-
kid is not hanging on
No,
to
I
anything.
know. No,
This
that's
is like-
bad. I don't know. I guess you got to be in the moment. I mean, I guess.
I mean, I'm
It's
down
pretty
for
extreme.
like disciplining a little bit in the school, but that might be a little pushing that
Yeah,
envelope.
picking them up. Actually, picking them up by their ears is.
Andy, what do you
Oh
think?
wait,
ridiculous.
there's more. Duct taping the kid to the table and to the chairs. Maybe it's not.
Oh,
duct taping. Putting them in the trash can. Scroll down. This kid's head.
but they didn't
first
even.
in the
They
trash
finished the
can.
duct tape and just left the whole roll of tape on his arm. Like
a
they didn't even
dunce-
tear
a
it off.
dunce cap.
That is insanity.
I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
you know.
I'm glad I didn't grow up in China.
Yeah, but
I'm
check this out. I
officially-
was thinking about it. Maybe we're a little. I
Why
don't
is
know.
this kid in the trash can? What the hell?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's some craziness.
Head first in the trash. You just see like a little toddler feet hanging out of the trash can.
Well, what are their prison? What's their prison population
oh my
like?
goodness! Well, we just
The
added to
bucket
it.
on the head.
A metal pail bucket on the head. This is brutality.
Yeah,
where is this
pretty
in China?
brutal.
Where does it say? Some name.
It's going to be. Yeah, you can't pronounce it anyways.
Zhejiang province
I'm sure we butchered that.
complained
But
to the local education department after the cruel image was posted on a social
That's what's
networking
awesome.
site.
She's
Yeah.
bragging like, look how I
Exactly.
keep my kids
Check
in
me
line.
out. That is so
She's
rad.
gonna end up shot dead in a ditch somewhere.
No, she'll probably just.
It's
she'll
probably
get promoted.
It's probably
party.
widespread.
The party.
I you know what I think, like I think there's a lot of like overly PC shit that goes on with kids here in America.
Oh,
like everything, you
absolutely.
can't keep score at the soccer
Yep.
game, and
That
that
makes me crazy.
Yeah.
There's
Everybody
no
wins.
winners. Yeah.
Everybody
I mean, no
wins.
losers.
Yep.
Everybody wins. Yeah,
and
that's
you
crazy.
can't discipline your kids really. You can't spank them. Like when I was a kid, like you're getting spanked in the supermarket. You're
Anywhere
like, and
was
everyone's
fair game.
applauding. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for like taking
Yeah.
care of that
Yeah,
kid.
we talked
But
about
now
that a
you
little bit
see
in the last
you see
podcast.
kids like all over the place, and you just think, I wish his dad would smack him. Like kids just like we were talking about last
They
week.
run wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like
Feral children.
you got to be, like I would get hauled off and smacked on, and I didn't think it was fair. So like when I had kids, I think it's a tool of trying to teach them right from wrong. They push the boundaries. They want to find out where their limits are and what they're allowed to get away with.
That's their job as a kid.
Right, and and a 2-year-old kid's not going to understand when you try to have a conversation with them. They just don't even have the capacity. So I think spanking is a useful tool if you don't abuse it. Like so I would say I would have timeouts, and they would have to blow it like a bunch before they got a spanking, and every time they would end up getting a warning,
Right.
like you got to do your timeout, blah blah blah, or now you have to do the timeout in the room, or
Right.
now we're going to close the door, and if you can't just like mellow out, then you might end up with a spanking.
But what would you
And-
do if your kid's teacher was doing
It
this?
might. Okay.
Well, nowadays that would
It
never
might-
happen
it
unless
might-
you're in China.
Right. But it's probably, I bet that stuff goes on all over the place there. Like that, it's just a different culture. We don't even understand how that got to that. Like,
Right.
So I think kids need discipline. I definitely don't think they need to be abused
Picked up by
or
their
picked
ears.
up by their ears.
Or
I mean,
duct taped to
I
the
think,
chair.
yeah, I think that, yeah, of course, if someone hurts your kid, you're going to start thinking, pretty psychotic thoughts about
But
what you
I
could
think
do to
that,
them.
like we don't know what the culture is there. I mean, the parents might go, "Oh yeah, that's totally what the
Right.
kid deserved." 'cause
Yeah,
they
keep
shouldn't
them in
have been."
line.
Yeah,
I mean, here we have teachers that if kids are out of line, they can like verbally make them
assault them.
yeah, kind of like make them seem dumb in class, and all the kids are laughing at them. That's kind of how they keep them in line here. You got
Yeah, what was that? Wasn't there a story this week about some teacher that did that?
Yeah, but it was in China again.
Was it?
Yeah, she was smacking him around.
No, some verbal assault, but
Oh.
we might have to dig that up for next.
I don't know. I
episode.
mean, you gotta, these kids.
Kids today.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you can't abuse kids because they.
What's
can
that
really,
song you sing?
What kid? What song?
F the Kids or something?
Oh, fuck the kids. That's no effect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty fat
totally
nowadays.
different.
That's Fat Mike,
Totally
not
different
Fat
band,
Randy.
but that's cool. So how is the band doing? You guys are in the headlines
Yeah.
lately. You got an old buddy back.
Yeah, reunited with Jim.
Nice.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. Who would have thought? Like, if we were all saying, like, how did this even come together? Because none of us were planning on this.
You guys weren't even
a month
talking
ago.
that much, right?
We weren't talking. Everyone was doing their own thing, but kind of like the planets align and everything comes together. And there was a lot of like, kind of hurt feelings and personal things between the guys, especially Fletcher and Jim and Byron, like that had just been going on for years. So
you kind of worked that out.
They've all
and-
worked. Yeah, they've
Awesome.
worked it out in a really pretty easily. Like just get together and just say, hey, what's up? What's
Hug
going
it out.
on? Yeah.
Hug it out.
So how was Dr.
But it
Phil?
feels. But I'll tell you what. Well, I wasn't there. But you know what? It really like once we were all in the room practicing and jamming together, it just felt like we didn't
An old
even,
shoe.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, exactly. We
Did you
didn't
guys get
even miss
the counselor
a
that
day.
Metallica did?
No, we didn't.
Oh,
do that. But
that
if we
guy
Started
yeah.
writing his own songs and writing lyrics.
Oh,
It's
yeah, that's
they're
awesome.
like they're like.
I'm part
I
of the
think we
band
have
now.
to get rid of this guy. I think he thinks he's part of the band now.
How crazy is that? It's
How
like
crazy
Spinal
is-
Tap. They
how
should have done that.
Fifth
in Spinal
member.
Oh my! How crazy is it that they just brought that guy in? It's like,
They,
let's sit
they
down
do
and
that all the
talk.
time. Crisis
Yeah.
intervention guys, all the time.
You kind of. I mean, it kind of.
That's so
I think
not
it would,
metal.
No, that's
Well,
not metal.
Yeah, but
Nah,
I mean, it's
even
corporate.
close.
That's the corporate band
Right.
scenario.
Yeah, but it's crazy that they just put it out there.
Yeah. That whole movie was crazy that they put any of that stuff out there.
Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've only seen
80
clips
notches of respect just
Gone.
diminished.
Yeah, it's not metal.
Gone.
Not metal.
So I want to change it up, bring up, keep it a little lighthearted with this next story.
Mm-hmm.
I love this story. Man sick of cold callers changes name to Price. A man so frustrated with the glut of cold callers to his house landline decided to hit back by adding an extra 9 P's to his surname.
Oh, God, that's great.
Leicester man Tim Price, 49, changed his name by default after being plagued with callers trying to sell him something day and night. Now, this is something close to my heart because I hate telemarketers. I mean, I took out my landline because of telemarketers.
Yeah. I'm almost there. I mean, our landline solely exists for telemarketers and my wife's parents to be able to call the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they, I mean, now.
And then the cool thing now is we have caller ID, so you can actually see, like, oh, unknown caller. Wait, no, I'm not going to answer.
Oh, I dive at it. I answer it, and I push 1, like, if you want to lower your interest rates, and then I push 1, and then I just start fucking with them, like, however I can.
That's awesome.
And, like, whatever.
I don't have time to do that, but that's cool that you do.
Yeah, I didn't realize what was going on at first. I mean, now I figured it out that they got some computer dialing every number in the world, and when someone presses 1, then they get a call.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is that's illegal in California.
Well, yeah, and they don't care, and we're on the
don't care.
No do not call list and all that stuff. But the funny thing is now is that I've done it so many times that now my son has taken over on it.
Picked up on it.
And it's just fun. Like, you can totally abuse these people a little bit. You pretend like you're interested for a minute, and it's like,
I think that's kind of what this guy's doing, because he goes, I hope the name acts like fly repellent to these people.
Yeah.
When I rang the woman at the bank, she couldn't stop laughing. And he goes, it's pronounced Tim Price. That is so rad.
Yeah, that's
it's hard to say that, like, 8 times in a conversation.
Price. Get good at it.
Yeah,
pretty rad.
you should be a telemarketer. How bummed would you be if that was your job? Just getting hung up on and yelled at all day long?
I think that the only job worse than that would be a parking meter maid.
Writing parking
cop.
tickets all day?
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's
rough.
But they get paid good, so maybe it's not that bad.
But some of them get
You'd have to.
assaulted, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you'd have
that's
to get
pretty
paid
rough.
good. They're assholes.
They made a whole TV show on it.
Yeah, I see
It's
that.
got to be.
So I want to move to the next story, and I want to show, this is kind of a visual, so it sort of sucks on a podcast, but this is someone's toilet, Randy. That right there is an elevator shaft that you sit directly above. I mean, on tour, I know you've probably taken care of business in some like bad places.
Yeah.
But I think this probably tops it. What do you think?
This is are you sure that's not
That's like
the
an
toilet
elevator shaft. It's
over
almost
there?
like a mine shaft.
Okay, but what's
Right.
over there to the side?
That's the toilet right there.
okay, and then that is a yeah. Okay, so they must take an elevator up there, and then
No.
the floor raises.
The elevator is
Oh,
is now
it's glass.
dormant.
It's glass.
Yeah,
okay,
it's like 6
that's
feet of
pretty cool.
plexiglass. You liking that?
Yeah, I like it.
I get vertigo.
view.
So I can,
Oh man, that's pretty cool. Well, I have
that's
to
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Could you imagine people walking in
Dude,
there
that
that
would
don't
not
know?
be.
They would.
I mean, talking about scaring the S out of
Oh God, that's great. I wonder how they even put that in there.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That'd be
like
tough.
it. I'm a fan.
You're back.
I
in
want
it.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Get
I thought
your
they would
opinion
like
on it.
shit in the hole or something. I mean, how do you? I was trying to figure out how can you make that happen.
You could just you
But
just
you
drill
don't
out
need
the
a-
bottom of the toilet, right?
See, the good thing about that is you don't need to put a rug there or anything. It's just
Right.
like it's
Yeah,
just a big
all visual.
elevator shaft. I like
Yeah.
it.
It's good.
It's like street art.
Hey, are you a big fan of Time Warner this year?
Time Warner because they changed their programming.
No, because they bought all the Lakers and you can't watch them on the,
Yeah, we were wondering like, well, how the fuck we can't. But so I'm watching the Clippers. Who gives a fuck?
the Clippers.
Yeah, I don't care. They got 4 Lakers on there. I like it. I like Chris Paul. I mean, I love the Lakers, but and I love Kobe Bryant, and everyone gets mad, and I love making people mad that
Yeah, you do.
that I like him. And,
He's good.
He's a champion, dude.
Yeah.
He's a fucking regardless of what you think he did. he's a champion. So he's got that mindset, and he's figured out how to be better than
everybody.
Most people. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't even have a lot of time to watch TV, anyways. I'm 4 kids deep.
This is true.
Yeah, that's got to be gnarly.
It is pretty gnarly.
But you still get time to play bass?
I get no time to play bass. But I make dinner. So these things are what the fuck? These things are getting me kind of jittery. Monster.
Yeah, that's sort of a ritual.
So well, pretty soon I'm going to seize up. I won't even talk anymore. I'll be chewing on my tongue.
That's when we'll cut you off. Don't worry about it.
But no, I find I don't have time to play bass, but I make dinner every night usually.
Nice.
So I find time to crack a couple beers.
How's
in the kitchen.
That work?
That's fun.
Don't have time to play bass, but I make dinner and crack.
Well, we all have to eat.
Yeah.
We all have to eat.
What's your specialty dish?
Probably,
don't say spaghetti.
No.
Or mac and cheese.
No. It's turkey burritos.
Oh,
that's the specialty, and I put that together from scratch.
A few hours in the making.
If you want to make it good, it's like 2 hours, and then you.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it.
2 hours.
Just about.
Turkey burritos.
Yeah, because you have to
don't
cook
have
it slow.
time to play bass. Maybe you should get an hour dish together, and then you can play bass for an hour.
I don't have time to play bass. And the other thing with the babies, every time I grab my guitar or my bass and I sit on the couch,
they try to crawl on it.
Oh, dude, they want to play it.
Yeah.
They grab it, and then I have to just give it up, and I put it on the ground and let them play it. And
have they ever played anything better than you?
Probably if they spent just a little bit of time on it.
But, an hour.
Yeah. No, I could. I should actually I could walk around the house with a strap on and play the bass, and I do that sometimes. But what am I really going to practice Pennywise songs? How much do I have to practice in order to do this?
Do your kids play music?
No, they don't. My son, it's always been around. There's always drums around. There's always guitars and everything, and they'll pick it up for a little bit. And my son knows how to play Smoke on the Water and
cool.
Iron Man and stuff like that.
So what's your take
I taught
on
him Crazy Train too?
What's your take on having kids play, say, like piano or something? They say that it sort of rewires their brain and makes them
smarter and stuff. Yeah. Right? No, I think it would be great. I mean, we weren't going necessarily for all the conventional, that conventional route. My kids love music, but because piano, especially if you're reading music, so you're reading music, you're playing the melodies, you're keeping
it's basically
rhythm.
Like learning a new language.
It's everything. It's knowing basically learning all the ways to play music, because you've got your percussiveness and you got to keep time, and you're reading, and I think it's going to make it's going to make your right and your left hemispheres work together.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you got your right and left hands usually doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wish I would have loved to have had them learn that, but
you don't want to pressure them though, right? That's the hardest thing. Is what I think though.
I think it's good
through your kid.
I mean, I think that it's good to have your kids learn piano, even if they hate it later on, they still have that skill and they retain it. And like Randy said, it's you're building this sort of brain skill and organization. Yeah,
but I mean, you have to. Everything you do, you have to agree on with your wife, right? So if it was like super super important to me, then I would put up, I would say no, we have to do this or whatever. But I figure I can expose them to music in a lot of different other ways, and so it was something that we didn't really come together on, So, but
they get that's what you do.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, my older kids have been to shows since they were 4 or 5 years old.
That's
They,
cool.
Bring them out to whenever we'd play outdoors, like when we played in Catalina, and also we brought them to the Ventura Warped Tour one year.
And you give them earplugs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but kids' ears are more sensitive. Yeah. So super loud volume stuff is not really good for them.
And my ears ring. I have my ears ring all the time. Anyways, I have a certain amount of ring. 2K.
Anybody who plays. I mean, it's like Don Dawkins told me. It's like, hey, how you doing? What K are you?
I'm 2K.
Anybody
2.3.
who plays music pretty much has that.
Yeah, but so of course I don't want them to get that. And then we even we got those headphones.
Those are cool.
Yeah,
isolation.
Yeah, isolation headphones work the best.
Those are good. Right on.
Anything you want to plug? Websites, people?
No, I don't know.
You have like a little solo thing you're working on?
Yeah, well, it's like I write tons of, music all the time, mostly for Pennywise or whatever, but I'll just go out when I have the time and, when I'm not watching babies, and I'll get out in my studio and I'll just write song after song. That's what I like doing. So I have probably 200 songs that are written in some form over the last like 10 years or something. So, to me, it seems kind of silly that they have to sit in the garage. And I don't have a lot of aspirations to, like, get gnarly with a band, but I would like to, throw it out there for any, because you want to share your stuff. You don't want to just write songs so they could sit in the garage on a hard drive. So I've put out a little bit with on my friend's label, Long Beach Records, my friend Mud. We put like 5 songs out and did a split with another band that I was playing with, these guys like old Long Beach guys like from Secret Hate and things like that. So we put out a little split.
Nice.
And then I've been talking about releasing some more, songs and just for fun, see what it does.
You can do like an actual like sort of Randy CD.
Yeah, kind of thinking maybe like vinyl.
Oh, awesome.
A reason
Nice.
to own,
Is it
own
going to be all you playing every instrument? What's the deal on that?
It's all you can afford.
Well, yeah, well, no, kind of. I mean, the problem is like for me to get good enough on each instrument, I would have to devote like some hours to like practice and warm up and get
that's
back
way
to
less
speed.
turkey burritos.
Yeah, but then if I get way less turkey burritos, way less beers, things like that.
Yeah,
So,
which is
important
unacceptable.
stuff.
yeah, you I gotta keep rolling.
That's right.
But I think it would be just as hard to get a different drummer, a good drummer in there, and teach him the songs. So I don't know.
Who doesn't want to do it all flashy and change it all up?
Yeah, but I gotta see if I get.
Randy's not really very open to that. It's
No,
like,
I
you must
am.
do it this way.
I'm open. No,
got the stash.
I'm open for people adding and making my songs better. I just always get nervous when it's Fletcher is the one that's doing it. I don't like Fletcher to change my songs because I think he just wants to tweak. He likes to tweak out on my stuff. No, that's my toy. I'm
for
going
the
to
sake of
take
doing
it
it.
and paint it.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. Well, hey man, thanks for coming up.
Okay.
It's awesome. You
Rad.
want to
Good times.
want to play one of your tunes?
Yeah,
when
let's do it.
When you're headed out.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
All right. What should we do? Cherish Your Cages?
That's totally killer.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to
Cherish
talk about
Your
it at all? Or
Cages.
when did you do it? When did you write this?
Wrote this one about actually 2.5, 3 years ago when we were writing for the All or Nothing record, but it just didn't make it. I mean, we had so much material. So, yeah, to me, it's like, it's just cherish your cages. It's kind of like the whole scenario I like to imagine ourselves in as like oppressed by the world elite. It kind of makes life interesting. Feel like
one percenters.
fighting the rebellion. So this is that type of song.
Right
Very
on.
cool. All right. Well, thanks for that, and thanks for coming down.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
We
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Very special
Andy,
guest,
Darian,
Randy
yeah, that was
Bradbury.
fun. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, late.
We're not gonna take away the fabled operation. Falling here a million tears, not for emancipation. Try your best to change it. Whoa, whoa. Look back and you too will fall behind. Not just another day. Follow your dreams and find a way. Follow your maker, sinister gadget. Girls with smiles from so long ago. Cherish your cages and don't burn your wages. All of it, do as you're told. The
back. That was cool, Randy, to swing by and say hi.
A little scattered, but we like it. Scattered.
Nah, he's all right. He's just like that. It must be the mountain. It must be that monster that we forced him to drink.
What do we got?
Okay, so check this out. As a dad, it's a big responsibility to have a kid, right?
Beyond.
And then you're sort of probably thinking, like, I think it's a good idea. You had a kid relatively young, so it's not like you're going to be super crazy old when he's like graduating from high school.
Right.
But what about this? It says world's oldest dad, 96, fathers a child.
First time?
Yeah. No, actually he's got more than one kid, but
96.
96. So
how's that even
he's going to be
possible?
so he's going to be 116 when the kid's 20.
How? What?
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is this dude thinking?
I mean, in order, if the kid's 20, in order for him to be around, he's going to have to be one of the world's record longest
Oldest people.
longevity. Yeah, that's gnarly.
Does it say anything about his thinking?
Here's but here's the best part.
Sounded like a good
His
idea.
wife is 52. She's like a half a century younger than him.
He's rich, dude.
That's awesome.
He's rich.
This is in India, so
Oh.
he might have $5 and be rich.
Totally.
But he says he's a former wrestler, and he credits his fertility to an active, alcohol-free lifestyle. Let that be a lesson to you, people. That is pretty gnarly. I mean, he says, what can I do? This is all God's wish. He wanted me to have another son.
Do they even believe in God in India?
In India, yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Oh, I thought it was Hindu or Buddhist.
Hindus is like a bunch of gods.
Right.
I don't know if they might, yeah, they probably have some Buddhists. And
I don't know.
whatever.
I've never been there.
it's God's will, dude. What can you do?
100? Wait, he's 96.
96.
Father's a child.
That's rad on.
Can he even move to wipe the diaper? Clean the diaper?
He seems like he's pretty, active and like lucid. It's pretty good for him, I say.
I mean, that's... I find that pretty
I'm
shocking.
like fascinated by super old people, so in a way, I think it's kind of rad.
But how about this one? 108-year-old woman voting in her first election.
That's right.
Where is this retard been her whole life?
That is cool. She probably, I don't know.
South Carolina.
What made her decide to vote?
That's
randomly?
what I'm trying to figure out because, I mean, there has been maybe one or two important elections before this one.
I mean, dude, 108. That's totally crazy. I mean, she was like, she's been around since like the turn of a century before
She
the
could have
turn of
voted
the last
for
century.
like
She saw
Teddy Roosevelt.
2 turns of a century. That's insane.
Let's see what it says. Aranethia Ferguson said her cousin Joanna Jenkins, the 108-year-old lady of Beaufort, South Carolina, has never voted and resisted registering to vote prior to previous elections. But during this election season, she just got kind of carried away
What?
wanting to vote. How do you get carried away at 108?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She must have good eyes and ears to know what's going on. Every time she sees President Obama on television, she really gets excited.
Well, there you go. You know, the thing that's trippy is it seems like a lot of centenarians, like people 100 and over, they have a lot more vitality and lucidity now than they used to. It's like
It's all the drugs.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's your area. Of
I mean, like
expertise.
prescription, like that doesn't help me either.
And but it's interesting because now we have this super aging population.
Just becoming active.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? I mean, they're not going to work at Starbucks, I'll tell you that. So what are you going to... I mean, crossing guard is free, so you're not going to do that.
Are you planning on working when you're 108?
Well, I might have to.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any Social Security.
Oh, my goodness.
But, I mean, what can you... Like, how are those people going to be... If they're totally alert and active and everything at 100... What sort of job can they? How can they be productive for society?
They're not. Right?
I mean, because we don't have enough nursing homes in the country. That's what I'm saying.
Or
So,
Walgreens.
You know, maybe they can work at no, they could work at Osh.
The greeters?
The greeters and the people in the nursery. That's totally perfect, dude.
Watering flowers.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
so,
What else we got?
Hurricane Sandy, big news this week. Here's the best part. Some really dedicated Starbucks fans waded through water and braved several blocks of weather to reach the store.
Wait, what? They went in the hurricane? They went to get coffee?
In New York, yes.
What in the
Which
hell?
is like completely flooded, right?
Isn't it
It's
supposed
like
to be evacuated?
8 feet underwater.
Dude, read a little more.
Customers at the Starbucks off Times Square said they walked or took town cars several blocks and waited at least 10 minutes, many as long as a half hour, in the packed store to receive their orders Monday, the New York Post reported. Bethany Owens, 28, said she bundled up her daughter, loser, 28, and walked 10 blocks from Hell's Kitchen with her friend Chris when they learned from Facebook that the Starbucks was still open.
Dude, that
Isn't that like child abuse?
why is this Starbucks even open? Like, what? That
Money,
seems weird,
right?
I guess.
If you're the only one open,
yeah, you're gonna.
That's
crank,
kinda-
dude. Yeah, you're gonna be cranking.
dude.
I mean, I don't know if New York's like it is here, where there's like every 3 blocks is a new Starbucks.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I've been there in a while. She
That's
said-
crazy.
When she said they were open, I was like, pack up the baby. Let's go. There's nothing else we would have gone out for. This makes the day complete.
Dude, can you imagine getting in your car and trying to drive in like
Can you-
totally flooded? Like, I mean, you might flood out your car. Like, you'd be totally stranded.
Can
I
you
mean,
imagine
totally-
not having a coffee pot? And
Yeah,
you're like, you
I
have to
guess,
go to
huh?
Starbucks?
Yeah. Well, I guess if you go to Starbucks every day and then you go, I don't need this thing.
Dude,
Toss it.
that's crazy. I mean, maybe it wasn't as bad as the news was saying, but
Well, that's pretty crazy, but I think this could be pretty crazy. Like, you golf sometimes, right?
I just was golfing last week.
So imagine if you're on the golf course and a shark fell from the sky.
What?
Nobody yelled for it at a Southern California golf course when a 2-foot-long shark dropped out of the sky and flopped around at the 12th tee.
What?
Dude, this is in San Capistrano.
That's right down
This
the
is
road a
Yahoo
little bit.
News right here. So it said no one was teeing up when the shark fell Monday afternoon, although some golfers had just left the area. He said, I mean, how would you go grab it? Like,
How does
if
this
you-
even happen?
Oh, here it says. It says he saw something moving around on the tee and went to investigate. He found the shark bleeding with puncture wounds, where it seemed a bird of prey had held it in its grasp.
What?
So,
what,
like
a
some bird?
pterodactyl? How do you pick up a
Probably
shark out
Rodan.
of the water?
That's gnarly. So they went and grabbed it and stuck it in a bucket of water. Somebody remembered it wasn't a freshwater animal, so they stirred up homemade seawater using sea salt from the kitchen. I don't think that works. Does that work? I don't think you can go get like seawater animals and make your own homemade ocean water and expect them to live. This shark must have been tough, dude.
Or super
We
bummed.
knew it had both. We do have to get to the ocean as fast as possible, and it flipped and took off. There you go. So the shark made it. That's
Really?
sweet. We have your typical coyotes, skunks, and occasional mountain lion, but nothing like a shark. That would be pretty crazy.
I
Can
don't
you
know.
imagine you're golfing and you're like, what the hell is that over there on that tee?
I don't know if I'd necessarily rescue it. I did, though.
I'd be kind of scared because, I mean, what if it just latches onto your arm or something?
on a golf
You'd have
course.
to be
like,
careful.
How do you explain
It's
that to your
kind of like
friends?
grabbing a snake or something, you know?
How do you explain it, though? Like, I wasn't at the beach. I was on the golf course.
Yeah.
And the shark
Where'd you
attacked
get
me.
that shark bite? That's gnarly.
Oh,
You got
man.
another story for us?
Let's see. What do we got? In New York, of all places, university class on transnational terrorism is asking students to plan hypothetical terrorist acts down to the detail.
Wait, they're planning terrorist attacks?
Yes, sir.
And then are they going to email this to like Al Qaeda or something?
Well, let's find out. A formal.
I mean, if I were in Al Qaeda, I'd just enroll in that class,
Right?
and you can get your whole like plan critiqued and get it all modified to be
You got
perfect.
like 45 other plans
Yeah,
with it.
That's totally not. That doesn't seem like a good idea, dude.
How's this even allowed?
Well, read a little bit more.
Let's see. She's a former Navy criminal investigator teaching the class. She wants her class to step into a terrorist's shoes for the 10 to 15 page assignment and describe your hypothetical attack.
I mean, are they doing background checks on all these students?
That
Like,
just sounds like a setup to me, dude.
oh, is it like that thing when they tell the criminals, you got a winning lottery ticket, show up at this building to claim your prize.
Then the guy shows up and gets arrested for not paying child support for 3 years.
Yeah, they're all arrested. That's strange. That's really strange.
Way.
Check this out. This is pretty strange. Wild boar sparks terror in Chinese office. A wild boar sparked chaos in China when it rampaged through an office and tried to escape through a window. That sounds like a Western movie, dude. That is awesome. That almost beats Duck Dynasty.
Oh my goodness.
The animal rushed into a bus control center in Shantou in the Guangdong province and shattered a glass door before breaking a water pipe on its way out. That's like adding insult to injury. Now you got water spewing everywhere.
Dude, wild boar, I'm terrified.
Dude, those things will gore you. You'll be totally thrashed.
That Texas show.
I never saw it.
Oh, Hagen or something. They go out.
Haugen.
Haugen. They go out and find wild. They sell them, I think, but they're pretty nasty.
Yeah, there are. And they freak out and they go crazy. Like you can get totally injured from those things.
It's open season in Texas on wild boars.
Constantly. And surveillance footage shows a wild boar running into the waiting area and then jumping into a chair where it tries to smash the window. I want that footage. I want to get that. That is
Dude, I want the people in the lobby. I want to see their faces.
Their faces. They're just scurrying for cover, man. A cook working there picked up a plastic stool and attempted to use it to scare away the boar. That guy's been watching too many old circus movies. He had a whip in the other hand or something. But it gnawed on the stool and one pushed it away. He's trying to hold up the stool to shove the boar into another area and then just started gnawing on the stool. That's not a good sign.
Does it say how it got in? Just ran through the door?
It just ran in. In a final bid to escape the room, the boar charged into a glass door before running outside. That doesn't. I was very scared. That boar weighed about 50 kilograms. I don't even know how much that is.
Still
like 100
We're in
pounds.
America.
Yeah, and looked quite ferocious. It was brown.
Color. Color makes it scarier.
Yeah, and if it wasn't brown, it would have been a lot better. So,
Australia. Here's a fantastic story out of Australia. A 20-year-old Brazilian woman received a high bid of $780,000 auctioning off her virginity.
oh yeah, I saw something about that.
What is this?
But that's not Australia, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Canberra, Australia. Justin Sisley, who's virginswanted.com.au auction site, is part of his documentary project, said this 20-year-old chick received a high bid of $780,000 from a Japanese man identified by the name Natsu.
Yeah, you're gonna earn that entire $700,000 right there.
Sisley said Alexander Stepnoff, 21, a male virgin offered on the auction site, male, received a high bid of $3,000. Nobody wants a virgin
remember,
dude.
everybody talks about sexual pay equality.
Yep.
There's
there it is, right
the
there.
inverse of it right
That's
there.
it. What is wrong with people?
Alrighty, dude. Well, episode 2 in the can. What do you think?
Up.
It's cool having Randy on, our
Yeah.
first guest.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a regular thing. We're going to have guests
Yeah.
on each
Any
one.
hints on next week? Are we getting that out yet?
No hints, but we're kind of keeping with the bass player's theme. That's the only hint.
That's the only hint.
Hey, before we go, I want to give a shout out to Jessica Present, who did the logo for us. It's totally cool on like instant notice. She's awesome. She's
she worked very hard at work.
She's
for free.
Yeah. She's a very
pretty
cool
sweet.
wife of my friend Jim Present, who unfortunately is a band manager.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get the memo about the music industry. He'll have to check out the first podcast.
So she's the breadwinner.
Yeah, exactly. But thanks very much, Jessica, and there you go.
Stay tuned. See you next week.
We're gonna do something next week, 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all right, catch us on. We're on Twitter now. We're at Gmail. It's ofmuseandmen@gmail.com. Send us your ideas or hate mail. Or,
Especially hate mail, because
Yeah.
we want to read that.
and donations. We like donations.
Donations. Not donuts. Donations.
Yeah, no, we don't get paid in donuts. And like Andy said, we're on Twitter.
Of
What's
Muse
the-
and Men, right?
Yeah,
At of Muse and
Of
Men.
Muse and Men.
And we have a page on Facebook now.
Yeah,
So, we're socially mediated.
yeah, we're getting it together slowly and surely.
Slowly. Is the key.
All righty, we're out. Say goodbye, Andy.
Goodbye, Andy.